I thought this was supposed to be about stocks. Where?
Oh yeah, good morning and welcome to the Polar Vortex, my new favorite phrase of all time. I think they got the name Polar Vortex from the movie Day After Tomorrow, where the storm was pulling the iced, frigid air from space and covering the world with ice. And I love these people that, I mean, you've probably heard this before, but I'm not the first one to say it, obviously. But everyone's saying, oh, what about global warming? What about global warming? Go watch Day After Tomorrow. Global warming causes the deep freeze that we're getting as I'm pointing outside. You're supposed to know what I'm doing right now. But if you also look at the word itself, global warming, you do realize somewhere in Australia right now, it's about 175 degrees in the desert right now, and someone's saying, what the fuck? Or actually he's saying, anyway, you still can't short this market. Oh, by the way, what's up, OC Securities out there in California? If you want me to wear, this is like Poker Stars or like a poker tournament. If you want me to put a banner on my chest, I'll do it. I only charge $30. So if you want me to wear something to represent your company, go ahead and send me $30 and a hat. Anyway, oh, by the way, I'm still printing out those Dow 20 Thou hats. If you don't think we're still going to the moon in this market, even though we've had a couple of shaky days, you're out of your mind, okay? The market could go down 10% in January, and everybody will be saying, oh, how January goes, so goes the year. No. The government's still there. Interest rates are still at zero. Gold and silver, we're still not going back to 2000. Silver still not going anywhere. Those are dead, okay? And again, every time I make a video and I say something that's so drastic, like gold is dead and silver is dead, if they start to rally, I'll be the first one to get right in there. Okay, now, as far as shorting this market, you gotta be crazy, right? Because as soon as you feel comfortable about shorting, the QQQ hits a nice whole number like 86 and bounces $1.10, $1.20. NASDAQ futures rally 35 points in your face. You can't stay short. But here's what I want to say to you right now, because the most important thing, and did I say Happy New Year? And when do we stop saying Happy New Year? What, February, March, when you haven't seen, like what if you haven't seen somebody for 3 or 4 months and it's still, do you still say Happy New Year? When does that dissipate? I've always wondered. I say Happy New Year till March if I haven't seen somebody. So, hey, Happy New Year. Anyway, Happy New Year. 2014, starting off extraordinary. You want to know why? Because we ignore the market, because we don't care what the market's doing. We care about what stocks are doing. Because, oh boy, the first day of the year we had stocks that were just going ballistic. Now, I am not a fan of solar anymore. Because in 1982, I went to Epcot Center. What does that make me? Yeah, when I was 11, 12 years old, 1982, when I went to Epcot Center, and everything was solar. It was going to change the world. Solar-powered houses, solar-powered cars. Solar power is going to revolutionize the planet. And here we are in 2014, and the only way anybody does anything with solar is if they bribe you to do it with some subsidies from the government. And still that doesn't work. You got kiosks in the mall. You know, you knew gold was a bubble because there was kiosks in the mall wanting to buy my gold. I'll buy your gold. I'll buy your gold. Everywhere popping up, I'll buy your gold. Next thing you know, nobody wants to buy my gold anymore. Now, all you see, or not as much as you did, but all you saw was, I'll install solar power on your roof for nothing. Really? Nothing at all? So let me get this straight. You're going to come to my house, put the solar panels on my roof. You're going to save on, my electric bill is going to get cut drastically. I'm going to sell the extra electricity back to the grid and make a profit on that for nothing. Right? Is that what you're telling me? And the guy's kind of like, well, we have to actually sit down. Oh, you lost me already. First you said it was free, and now you're saying we have to talk about things. So I don't want to talk about things. Well, the one guy I did sit down with, he told me after 28 years, I will recoup the money that I have to lay out. 28 years of saving money on my electric bill, I will finally break even. I don't know. That was one guy. And then I've heard some positive stories, I've heard some negative stories. That being said, the solar-powered stocks, the solar stocks took off this year out of the gate going absolutely nuts. So you didn't care about what the market was doing. You were loving solar, loving it. You were loving Twitter. But more importantly, you were loving BlackBerry. That's right, BlackBerry. Now, if we didn't learn anything from 2013, the one thing you should have taken away is when a stock starts to go back up, like a popular stock like a BlackBerry or Deckers or First Solar for that matter down at 12 bucks when we were buying it. And how about Tesla at 25? And even Google at 420 and 480 and Apple at 385 and 400 when nobody was caring. Once they start to make their turn, ooh, guess who gets nervous? The people that were just shorting it. So the first people that start to cover were those last people that were betting it was going to go down. So the people that were betting against BlackBerry, and there's plenty of people out there. I know there was plenty of people buying it on the way down, getting hammered. It's going to get taken over at 14, it's going to get taken over at 21, buying it at 11, 10, 9, 8, finally giving up at 7. Probably some of those people started shorting it because they were so pissed off. Shorting it at 7, 6, 5, 5.5, right? So down at 5.5, suddenly it stops going down. Now, when do you buy it? Because chances are it's still going to keep going down. Here's one thing I want you to learn, okay, if you're going to learn anything. It's better to be late and right than early and wrong. As soon as we started seeing, hey, look at this BlackBerry. Why is this thing not going down anymore? I guess it's worth a shot to get involved on the long side. And then the next thing you know, it starts breaking past previous highs, something BlackBerry hasn't done in a long time. You're seeing upward momentum. You're seeing the stock gap up and hold those gaps. You're seeing the stock actually start to trend higher. The lower lows, so you're seeing higher lows on the stock. But long story short, you've got a stock here that every time it busts a little higher, you've got somebody that was just short that stock saying, please God, don't break $7. I was just up $1.50 on my short. Oh God, if it breaks 7, I'm gonna have to cover because I don't want to lose my money. Oh God, and then it pops to 725, 750. And then you got the guys that were short the stock at 750 saying, this thing's not gonna break 750. Well, if it breaks 750, I'm gonna hang on as long as it doesn't break $7.75, 78 cents from where it came a few weeks ago. I'm not gonna worry. Oh my God, there it goes. I can't believe it's breaking 777. I gotta cover. The new longs come in, stock pops to 8 and change. And then you got the other guys. Oh, Jesus Christ, if this thing breaks 805, I'm in bad shape here. I better cover this shit before it gets to $9. I mean, this is the greatest bull market ever constructed by the government. Maybe BlackBerry really is on the comeback trail. I better get the fuck out. Next thing you know, $8.50, $9. And where did we come in? Again, I'm not buying this thing at $5.50. I didn't have a crystal ball. And I also think BlackBerry eventually will go back to $5. Don't quote me on that, because maybe it will be a recovery, because this is the greatest bull market of all time. And you cannot give up on anything. We will be giving up on dry ships shortly because management is just crushing us on that one. But I'm not calling for a tremendous recovery on BlackBerry, and we've been selling it into this move. But we were late to the party, considering we didn't buy it at $5.50, didn't buy it at $6, didn't buy it at $6.50. At $6.75, we started getting interested with some $7 calls. Made some money on the $7 calls. Whoa, lo and behold, this thing's breaking $7.50. Wow, a significant price for you people that have been trading options for 20 years. The $5, the $7.50, the 10s, that's all we used to have to choose from. Now we got 7, $7.50, 8, $8.50, you got weeklies. So hey, maybe this thing pops above $8. Let's buy the $8 weekly calls for 15, 20 cents. Next thing you know, they're trading at 50 cents. Do the math. All we needed was a 50-cent move, and we had an option to go from 15 cents to 55 cents. As a matter of fact, right now, we've got the 850s that we paid up for, which broke my heart because I wanted to buy them at a nickel, but I started saying, well, you know, BlackBerry, really? The thing's just moved from 7 to $8. Do I really want to keep pushing that bet? So we put a little bit on, but nothing significant. But depending on how aggressive you are, still a great call, still an awesome call, and BlackBerry's still going. Now let's talk about some of these other psychopathic stocks that have been moving higher. We got KNDI, the other electric car company. Right? KNDI. If you don't know about this one, oh baby, buy it. Just buy it. Don't trade it because It has these great moves, and the next thing you know, it collapses, and you're cursing yourself. You're like, what did I do? I can't believe I bought this thing at the high of the day. Next thing you know, rallies back right at the close, gaps up the next day, and continues to go. This stock looks like it's another go-go, and we're going to get to go-go in a second. If you still don't own the go-go, you got to love the go-go. Who's talking about the go-go at 13 bucks? Nobody but this guy. Now suddenly it's one of the most popular stocks on the planet. Go-go, Wi-Fi on the airplanes. But let's talk about Condi for a second. They make disposable cars. You put a couple of quarters in a slot machine in China, and out comes a car. Gotta love it, right? Basically, that's what they do. They have a what's it called? A car dispenser. You put a couple of shekels in the machine, out spews a car for you for the day, and it runs on electricity, killing it. And there's 75 trillion people in China. So if this thing takes off, I mean, come on. And again, it's a Chinese stock. It could go to zero tomorrow. Muddy Waters comes out with a report that they don't really make cars. It could go to zero in a second. So here's what I suggest with the Condi. You want to own the stock? Yeah. But you know what? Play it safe. I got the $12.50 calls. Goes to zero. All I'm losing is the $1.50 that I put up. So right now my cost average on Condi is 14 bucks. I mean, the stock's doing all right. KNDI for all you speculating electric car lunatic Chinese stock fans, because this stock could go to 50 bucks in a blink of an eye. Okay? KNDI. Gandhi. You got to be in love with this Gandhi. Anyway, let's see what else we got. We've given up on the NQ. Oh, let's talk about dry ships for a second. Now, the first thing you learn about in economics school or business school, how to value a company, for all you guys that actually think fundamentals still work in this market. One of the things that you learn about is, where do you get the fundamentals from? Management, right? And if you can't trust management, if management seems to only be hurting your stock, like Zolt, remember Zolt? They couldn't run this company to save their lives. The stock should have been a $50 stock, and it went all the way down to $6. Eventually, Zolt did get taken over, if you remember how much fun we had with that Zolt stock, right? Oh, we had so much fun with Zolt. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, dry ships. The management, all they do is issue more debt, issue more stock, and dilute the shares over and over and over again. The company makes maybe $400 million a year, right? They're about $70 billion in debt. Don't quote me on those numbers. Let's just say big debt, not enough money to support it. Eventually, it might just implode upon itself. But as the shipping industry gets better, if we do believe in this global recovery, somebody has to ship something. Ship that shit. And they do just more. They do a little bit more than the dry bulk shipping. They have the oil and the blah, 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 blah. But if the stock breaks 385, I don't care about nothing. I'm done with this stock. I am going to go from love to hate, back to love, depending on how I feel if this thing breaks 385. Right now it held $4, so I'm feeling a little bit better. So I want to round this thing up by one more stock, and that is the go-go. Wi-Fi on the airplanes. Right? The shorts had it right. The stock came out. They had stock that was being locked up. The lockup period was being free. And all these shares hit the market, and the stock got hammered. Still think it's a worthwhile buy, especially because it hit 23.35. Look on your charts. 23.35 was our triple bottom, and the stock has now bounced off there very, very nicely yesterday. Big fan of the go-go. I've owned it since 13, 15, and 18. I've never sold at the highs. Haven't bought more back. Still got that same lot. I've been trading it in between. It's a pretty volatile name, but looks like we've got a real bottom on go-go. So, all that being said, Happy New Year and all that stuff. If you haven't made it to the room, we're absolutely lighting shit up. The $5,000 challenge guy is doing extraordinarily well. We have one guy that put $5,000 in an account. He's up about $2,500 in about 3 months. He's taking it pretty slow. And we have our more aggressive player who's been buying BlackBerry and MCP and all these crazy stocks that have been going well. He's already made about $9,500. He was up to 11 grand, got hammered on the MCP the other day, but he's more of a gambler. But if you are a gambler, this is the kind of market you want to be involved in. Buying those calls and just loving it. All right, come and take the $5,000 challenge with us hitthebid.com. The link to the room will be on the thing. All right, later.